Hi, this is Mrs. Oakley, and today we're going to look at Unit 7 in review. There are no notes for this, so I just want you to pay attention and follow along. All right, so this says give the ratio of hot dogs to hamburgers in 3 different ways. And it says write each answer in simplest form. So first off, we need to remember that it asks for hot dogs first. So the first thing we're going to do is count the hot dogs. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 8 hot dogs. And then it says hamburgers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to 10. Okay. So there, I'm comparing hot dogs to hamburgers. Now, that's one way to write it. I can also say 8 to 10, and I can say 8 over 10 like a fraction. But I didn't do the one part. It said to do in the simplest form. So let's do that. I can divide 8 and 10 by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So that's simplest form. So again, 4 to 5, 4 fifths. 4 to 5. Okay? All right, let's moving on. Now this one says give the letters in the phrase follow your dreams. What is the ratio of total numbers of letters to vowels? Well, let's count total first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 16 letters all together. Okay. Then they want to know how many vowels. Well, here's a vowel. There's one. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 16 to 6. It says give it in simplest. So we're going to divide this by 2 would get me 8 thirds. All I did was same thing as we do when we've got a fraction, right? And we got to simplify a fraction. We divided it both numbers by 2 to get 8 thirds. Great job. All right. List 2 equivalent ratios for each one. Now remember, we can multiply to make equivalent ratios, or we can simplify, and that's also making an equivalent ratio. So we can divide or multiply depending on what our numbers are. So if I take 7 to 4, and I say I'm going to multiply them both by 2, will that get me 14 to 8? So there's one equivalent ratio, right? Now, if I say I'm going to do this again, and I'm going to just multiply these by 2, 8 times 2 is 16. 14 times 2 is 28. This, and that are all equivalent ratios. Okay, so I'm going to show you the opposite way. So I can take 16 over 18, and I can divide them both by 2. This would get me 8 ninths. I can take 16 over 18, and I can multiply it by 2. And that would get me 32 over 36. Okay, again, equivalent, equivalent. All right, so here we're supposed to be finding the missing values. So if I have 6 to 2, I have 40. I don't know why I'm writing 14. I have 42 to something. Well, how did I get this 6 to be 42? What did I do with the 6? Well, I multiplied it times 7. 6 times 7 is 42. If I do that there, I have to come over here and say times 7 here, and that gets me 14. Okay. Then 20. How did I get it to be 5? Well, I divided, because I had to make it smaller, so dividing, I divided by 4. So if I come down here and I divide this by 4, 36 divided by 4 is 9. So the answer would be 5 to 9. Great job. Okay, so here we go. Let's see how this worked. Here I multiplied by 2. Okay, so let's multiply here by 2. Gives me 36. Now, I'm going to get a different color so I can show you what happens with the next one. Going from here to here is times 5. So if I go from here to here, I have to multiply it by 5. 18 times 5. Let's kick 40, carry the 4. Yeah, that gives me 90. So 90 be my answer. All right, let's go from 2 to 16 times 8. Now, here, I have to figure out what times 8 equals 40. Well, I know 5 times 8 equals 40. All right, let me get a different color. If I'm going from here to here, I'm saying 2 times 24. Okay. If I'm going this way, I have to say 24 again, but I have to multiply it this time by 5. 4 times 5 is 20. Carry the 2. That's 10, 12. So my answer would be 120. All right. Okay, so here we have rates. So if I have 252 calories in 3 chocolates, I got to find out what 1 is. So I'm going to divide 252 calories, and I'm going to divide it by the 3 chocolate pieces. Okay, 3 goes into 2 0 times, but it can go into 24 8 times. 8 times 3 is 24. Subtract it gives me 12. 3 goes into 12 4 times, which gives me 0 left over. So we get 84 calories. I'll abbreviate that in 1 piece of chocolate. Make sense? Okay, so here we have 180 gallons filled in 24 minutes. Well, it can't go into 24, can't go into 18, but I'm wondering if I do it times 5. Let's see, 5 times 4 is 20. Carry the 2. That gives me 10, 12. That wasn't enough. So let's try something else. Let's try 6. 6, that's 24. Carry the 2. 12, 14. I think I can get even further, so let's try another one. How about 7 this time? 7 times 4 is 28. Carry the 2. That gives me 14, 15, 16, which gives me, if I borrow 2, gives me 12 left over. And then I can put that decimal, right? Bring that decimal up, put a 0. Get rid of this now. And let's try 5 this time. 5 times 4 is 20. Carry the 2. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 2 is 12, and that gives us 0. So we get 7.5 gallons per minute. Okay? All right. Vienna bought 8 yards of fabric and paid $35.60. How many more yards can she purchase with $20? Well, first off, we got to find the unit price. And to do that, we know that we always take the price, which is $35.60, and divide it by what we got. So 8. 8 goes into 35 4 times. That gives me 32. Gives me 3. I'll move my decimal up. 8 goes into 36 4 times. 4 times 8 is 32. That gives me 4. Bring down that 0. Goes in there 5. So 1 yard equals $4 Okay. Now, if I had $20 more, I need to know how many yards I can do. Well, if I do 5 times 4 is 20, but then I would go over 20 with the change. So let's say 445 times 4. I bet it's only 4. That gives me 20, carry the 2, 16, 17, 18, carry the 1, 16, 17. So 1780. So I can purchase 4 more yards. All right, so if blueberries, 12 blueberries equals 72 grams, I need to know how many grams one blueberry is. So let's say 7.2 grams divided by 12. Can't go into 7, but it can go into 72 6 times. Bring that up, a decimal up. 6 times 12 is 72. So one blueberry equals 0.6 grams. Well, now all I have to do is say 32 times 0.6 equals 6 times 2 is 12, carry the 1. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 1 is 19. Don't have to do anything with the 0, but I do need to remember that I have to have one number behind the decimal because there's one number behind the decimal in the problem. So 32 blueberries would equal 19.2 grams. All right, last one. Here we've got some comparisons. So we've got to figure out what the unit price of each one is and decide is option A or B better. Okay. Well, if I have 720, and I'm going to go down here because it's easier, divided by 3. Well, 3 goes into 7 2 times. That gets me 6, gets me 1. Bring down my 2, bring my decimal, goes in there 4 times. 4 times 3 is 12. Bring down the last 0. 3 goes into those 0 times. So its unit price is $2.40. Okay, if I have $20 and I divide it by the 8, 8 goes in there 2 times, gives me 16. That gives me 4. Let's put a decimal and a 0. 8 goes into 45 times. We know we need 2 numbers, so that hidden 0. So this one would cost $2.50. So A is better. Okay, I'm going to erase this so I can have the spot. Maybe if it'll erase for me. All right, here we go. It's getting there. It's just taking forever. All right, here we go. So the first one is